Hey, welcome back to my channel. Got a little Radiomaster branded receiver here. Really cool little receiver. This thing's the size of an RXSR D-pin or a Crossfire Nano. Really small little receiver. And we're going to bind it to this transmitter, the Radiomaster T16S. So we're going to have this little dude bound up and working correctly and all that to make sure. And then we're going to bind it to this transmitter so that I can fly this quadcopter. All right, so we're going to take a good look at this. We're going to make sure it's working correctly, and then we're going to bind it to this and make sure it's working, and then we're going to install it in here. So this should be kind of a neat video, and I'll try to go through the pieces and parts a little bit as we go along. But yeah, should be kind of neat if you wanted to know a little more about the capabilities of a $7-8 receiver anyway. So stay tuned. Alright, so the first thing to do is get this out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this receiver out, and we're going to solder up these 3 wires. I don't really think it's necessary to drag you through, because I have a video on how to solder a 30 gauge wire to a flight controller, and it's the same scenario with this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this soldered up real quick, and then we'll look at the internal contents. Alright, here's what's left. We have our little D8 Radiomaster receiver soldered up to our servo pin header, and that's going to come in handy in a minute. And then they gave you a little shrink tubing to go around that, so after you get it, right before you put it in final in your quadcopter, you put a little shrink tubing on it. And then I like to secure that down with some Gorilla Tough and Clear. This stuff is really amazing. I've gone through a lot of rolls of this stuff. It's good stuff. So I'm going to set that aside. Here's some instructions. I don't know who uses these, but they put them in there. I'm just kidding. This I'll try to put a screenshot up here for you. All right, so that way you can do maybe a screenshot, or I don't know, you want to pause it and look at that. But basically, the receiver part is all connected here, and we just need to test it. So we're going to grab our radio, go ahead and power this up, and then we're going to grab our tester.
Switch warning.
Switch warning. Oh no, there we go. So go ahead and plug in our tester. And we just want to make sure our ground is facing towards the logo of the toolkit, so we can put that in here. Okay. And then on our receiver, you'll see that it's, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's quite bright. Let me change my lighting real quick and get this for you. Alright, my lighting is, I had to really overexpose things so I can get this screen nice and bright for you. So, and then it blows this one out. That's not good. Anyway, so I've already bound this up to this transmitter, which there's nothing more than holding the bind button for 3 seconds after you power it up with the transmitter binding. So I'll show you this screen in a second, but let's just go ahead and make sure everything's working. Go over here to S-Bus, and then we can go into our stick movements and then our switches. So if I pull up pre-arm, so channel 7 is our beeper, and then pre-arm to arm, channel 5 is our arming. Our modes, angle, horizon, acro. So yeah, all the channels are working. And then if we go down, you see channel 9. It's just screaming. If I put my hand over top of both antennas, see how that dropped down quite a bit, and then comes back up. So we know that RSSI is working good. So everything's working the way it should be. We can go ahead and I'm going to show you this screen now. Alright, so we can go in, so hopefully you can see that good. So we can hold down our model, and then we can page back. If you go down in here, this actually is putting out some telemetry. the 5 volts that it's connected to. So this is outputting 5 volts to the receiver. Okay, so we can see that voltage, and then RSSI is the value right here. Okay, so if I cover the antennas up good and solid with my hand, we get about 84. So that's working out pretty good. And then that way we can have our RSSI in our goggles. So that's going to be pretty nice to have that. So everything seems to be working correctly. I'm just going to page back. I wanted to show you, I have a logic switch set up for this for pre-arming. I'm not going to have that on this quadcopter because I'm going to use this transmitter. But this is kind of back in the day stuff before Betaflight had pre-arm. So that's why that channel 5 was acting funny, because I actually had to arm it in a certain way. So anyway, I just wanted, in case you had a question, you've seen that. So everything is set up here. Now we know that the receiver is working correctly because all the channels are moving, and everything is, you know, we stick movements and all of our switches and everything seems to be working good. Now keep in mind it's 8 channels. So let's go ahead and bind this receiver up to our other transmitter. So
Receiver still connected.
I'm going to power this off. Okay, so we're done with that transmitter. And now we're going to pull this one up. I was charging that up to make sure that it had juice for you. Let me zoom back out here. Alright, so we have everything set up here. And then we'll hold down on the power button. Feel the little, you know, the little motor inside. So 3 times, you see that? 3 purple blinked. I need to shut that off and do it again. Alright, you ready? So hold that down and vibrate, and then you'll see 3 pinkish purple. So if you see 3 blinks, that's in D8 mode. Okay, so now we want to take this off power. Okay, and then we want to push down on the bind button, hold the bind button down. Okay, so right here's the bind button. We're going to hold that down when we power it up. Alright, we're going to go ahead and hit the bind button there. I'm going to hold down on the bind button here, and we're going to power it up. Okay, so now it's hard to see that screen. Oh, if I tilt that just right, let me see if I can get this. That tilted. So now you can see that pretty well. So now we have throttle, we have our 4 channels working. Of course we can go into Betaflight and make sure our channel mapping is correct once we connect this to the flight controller. But right now we just kind of want to see, okay, that's going to be channel AUX 1, but channel 5. Okay, so that'll be my arming switch. And then this will be my beeper and turtle mode. And then right here, I'll have that for my angle, horizon, and acro. And then down here, I'm going to have that for my air mode. I always like to have my air mode on a switch. So because this is a 2S quadcopter, I mean, really, it's not that big a deal. These props are going to hurt your fingers, but I don't think a pre-arm is necessary. We could do a pre-arm, though. We can do a pre-arm right here. So when we push this up, and then we arm, it'll arm. Okay, we can set that up in Betaflight. But for now, we have all of our we have all the things functioning correctly, and then we have our RSSI. So if I take this transmitter, stick it behind my back, cover that up, we should be pretty terrible. Obviously, you can tell that this receiver or transmitter is not as good as the Radiomaster, but this is going to be great for my little whoop, and honestly this is for my daughter to fly around, so I'm going to fly it too, but I need to make sure that this is set up for her. So this receiver is functioning correctly, it's powered up correctly, everything's working, and thanks to our toolkit RC, and actually this is going to be a future video. I have 3 of these. I have 3 power supplies. I'm going to make the ultimate charging station. because I'm really sick and tired of battery management. So we're going to make that happen. But for now, this is a cool little thing. Lots of videos out on how to make this work. So I'm going to exit out of here. We're done with the receiver. We can go ahead and shut the transmitter off. Okay, and unplug all that. And I was thinking about depinning this, but I have quite a few of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off wherever I need to. Go ahead and get that installed. That's really all there is to it. Install it and then hook up the Betaflight and make sure the mode tabs, are doing what you want it to do. I think I might make a separate video of changing that receiver out. I don't know if very many people would be interested. Let me know in comments, are you interested in even seeing a video on putting this quadcopter? Because this has the XM Plus in it now. There's really not a whole lot of difference. Just stick it to the ceiling and 3 wires and make sure the transmitter's connected right. So, but I just kind of wanted to show you this little dude is pretty versatile for $7 or $8. So, hey, if this video is entertaining, let me know. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you hated it, give me a thumbs down. It all works. Enjoy the breeze.